All right, guys. So what we're looking at here is ES on the 6 hour time frame. It is January 2nd, 9:43 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So um, the futures market is open right now. Today we had our first trading day of 2024, and it was an interesting one. We had a little bit of a sell-off to start off the day with SPY, which I will show right here. So on this is the 50-minute time frame for SPY, and we had a little bit of a sell-off. We actually were trending a little bit today. So we created a lower low to start off the day, followed by a higher low, followed by a lower low. And by the looks of it here, potentially this is your higher low, and we might get another lower low tomorrow, depending on the price action. But we had a very strong buy up at the end of the day, which surprised me. So I'm interested to see if this is going to continue to go up in the overnight session, or if it's going to sell off and gap down tomorrow morning. By the looks of it, on ES, we are selling off currently and have been since the market opened up again at, I believe it is 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time is when it opens up at. And it did sell off a little bit, and it looks like it's going to come down. A very strong level of support on the day today for the futures, which correlated to SPY, was 4778. That area did act as a really strong support level, as well as this 50 EMA on the 6 hour. Really strong support. It had a very difficult time breaking past that. And QQQ was actually significantly weaker on the day. So QQQ is down negative 1.69% on the day. SPY is only down negative 0.56. So basically 3 times as weak on the day in comparison to SPY. So the Nasdaq is seeing a lot of selling pressure. Now, same thing, very nice trending day on QQQ. We had a lower low, higher low, lower low, and then this looks like it's going to be your higher low, followed by some potential lower low price action tomorrow morning on the 1 hour. Well, we switch back to ES. We are also technically in a downtrend on the 6 hour time frame right now. We just made a lower low, higher low, and now another lower low. So it's very likely that we continue to sell off, but at this point, I do think we're going to have some kind of pullback, make a higher low on the 6 hour potentially, and then go for another lower low. Keep in mind, guys, though, on the daily time frame, though, on ES, we are definitely still in an uptrend, and for that reason, it's hard to say how much this will sell off because the dominant trend right now is bullish on daily as well as weekly and as well as monthly. So it's very hard to say how much of a pullback we are going to get because it is a pullback and it is a downtrend on the smaller time frames, but the bigger and more important time frames are definitely bullish. So with that being said, I don't think we're going to have a dramatic move unless we see the bigger time frames um, have some kind of trend change direction. Because as of now, we've had a massive buy up since basically end of October, beginning of November, and from this point forward, we should see some kind of pullback. But unless we see it, there's no point playing it because you don't want to put yourself at risk. So we need to be patient here and see if that opportunity does present itself, and if it does, obviously take advantage of it. It would be a great trade because I do believe, like I was mentioning in my previous videos, if that pullback does happen, I can see us easily move to a 47.10 area and then potentially 46.21 area. So a fairly large um, trade, and that would be something that I would personally swing for a few days for sure. So with that being said, I want to actually go to the monthly time frame. I'm going to remove some of these drawings here. Okay. So on the monthly time frame for the futures, we've had a very bullish end to the year. And believe it or not, I really like the price action here. So we made all-time highs in December 2021 and January 2022. We're right around that area of hitting all-time highs, which is basically going to be around 5,000. We had a beautiful break of this consolidation back in the beginning of 2023. We broke this consolidation pattern, went for a higher high, came down, rejected the area that we broke out of, creating a beautiful higher low, and then boom, had a massive bullish engulfing candle in November. And what you could have done in December is you could have bought calls at the beginning of the month and literally just held them the whole month, and you would have made bank. This was for me personally, this was a very clear indication that we were going to go and make a higher high in the month of December, and that's exactly what we did. We went for a higher high in the month of December, and now two things are going to happen, right? We're either going to continue to go up and continue to make that higher high even higher, or we're going to have a slight pullback to this higher low area, to this lower high area. In my opinion, it would be around 47.2150 on the monthly. But as shown on the weekly, we have definitely a lot of room to go much lower than that if needed. So a pullback to this area, it could happen for the month of January. But based on the price action, guys, on the monthly, weekly, daily, I'm not seeing any sign of significant weakness right now. On the 6 hour and the 1 hour, sure, well, there's definitely some weakness and there's definitely some bearish action going on. But the bigger, more important time frames are not indicating that. So until we see something like that, I'm not gonna hesitate. Like, I'm not gonna jump into something without any kind of confirmation. So with that being said, I can expect the S&P 500 to definitely make new highs this year based on how the price action is currently setting up. It's building a lot of momentum and a lot of support for itself as it works its way up into this new territory. 5,000 is an area that we've been in before, so I do definitely believe we're going to hit that without a doubt for sure by, I would say, first quarter of 2024, and then we could potentially go up and break that and make new all-time highs, which I believe is very likely, especially when we get into the month of April. We're going to have the Bitcoin halving event, which is a major event, as well as the election. And whoever gets elected, I believe if Trump does get elected, we will see a huge rally basically for the remainder of the year. That's my assumption. So, with that being said, that's just an assumption. That's not me saying that that's what's going to happen. That's just my opinion. I don't, you know, advise that you take this as advice because it's not advice. That's just my opinion. Now, I am very technical with my trades, as you guys know, so I don't really care what happens. If I don't see the technicality to back up my claim, I never take action. So that's just what I think. That's just my opinion based on what I've heard, the fundamental data that I've collected, as well as some quantitative data that I've collected. That is what I believe to happen for the remainder of the year. So going back to the 6 hour time frame, as that matters more to me, I'm going to put back the levels on as they are a little bit messy, but on the 6 hour time frame, we are definitely bearish and we are selling off. I can easily see us, hit 4778 for sure by tomorrow morning based on how it's selling off right now. The day ended off pretty bearish on SPY. I want to just take a look at SPY one more time over here. So SPY, I didn't personally take any trades today, but there was three pretty good trades that you could have taken. I want to just recap those with you guys and kind of shown where you could have entered and why. So to start off the day, we were in a downtrend on the 1 hour time frame. It was very obvious by the price action, as well as on the 6 hour. So we were on a downtrend on the 1 hour and the 6 hour. So any kind of price action that was bearish on the 15, I was looking to enter, but because the dominant time frames, as such as the daily, weekly, are in an uptrend, technically you are counter trend trading for the day. So you have to keep that in mind, and you have to take a lot of risk management into a trade when you're trading a counter trend trade on the daily time frame. That's just what I do because I don't trade, you know, 2-3 minutes. My trades are usually like at least half an hour, sometimes a few hours. I hold my trades, right? So I'm looking for that larger move. So for me, the daily time frame and what the daily time frame is saying is very important to me. That plays a huge part and a huge role in my decisions. So for that reason, because the daily time frame was bullish, taking shorts for me was risky, but it could have been done with proper risk management. So if you are looking to take shorts on a day where the larger time frames are bullish, but the smaller time frames are bearish, that is still something you can do, but I do not recommend that you hold on to the trades for very long. I recommend that you have tight profit targets and tight stop losses, as things can reverse very quickly when you're trading counter trend. So the first trade that could have been taken would have been around 7:15. 715, you could have gone for a quick scalp, so you got in right at 715, and as you can see, we had a nice little sell-off. And if you had a profit target in this area, you could have very easily have taken profit for a nice quick move that would have yielded you some pretty decent return. Now, the reason why is, as I mentioned, we are in a downtrend on the 1 hour and the 6 hour. Very obvious. Start off the day, we closed with a red candle, signifying that there was more selling pressure on its way. And on top of that, on the 15-minute time frame, we had this green candle followed by a red candle. So for the 15-minute time frame, that's your lower low down here. That's your higher low right here. And that wick from below definitely signifies that there's definitely some weakness in this area. Okay. Now combine that with a little bit of volatility, you can definitely expect a move and a break of that level with some continuation. Now, how much? We have no idea. I would have recommended to keep this very tight as we are trading counter trend. So the next trade was a lot safer. The reason for that is because the next trade that you could have taken was a bullish trade. It was a long trade. So when this candle closed at 7:30, okay, what this indicated is that we're not going to go for a lower low right now. We are in the process of now creating a higher low on the 1 hour time frame. Now, the dominant trend is bullish on the daily. So we have the support of the buyers on the daily time frame to help us with this trade. So with the fact that the price action here basically signified that the buyers were in control in this hour, we had a momentum candle. You could have got into a trade right at 8:30, and a very good place to have taken profit would have been right at the previous lower low. So the previous lower low was right here, and this would have been the most obvious place for the price to go to for a correction before going for a lower low, which it did exactly that. So we went up, we rejected off 47358, we came down hard, made that second higher low, and then continued to go into that lower low. So that second trade there, you could have got in right at 8:30, sold at 47358. Beautiful trade, safer trade, pretty easy trade. Now on the 15-minute time frame, this candle is something you could have also have done. So if you are a trend trader and you like to trade price action, right when this candle closed at 9 or 10:30, this created your second higher low. Now there was a lot of weakness to the downside with this huge wick from below. So the actual entirety of the candle is larger than the previous one. Now you could have entered in right at 10:30 if you really wanted to. If you don't have the patience to wait a little bit more, this trade would have been okay, but it is risky. Again, you're trading against the dominant trend. This would have been, in my opinion, a very quick short trade. So on the 15-minute time frame, instead what you could have done is I personally would have waited for that 1 hour candle to close fully at 10:30. But I want to see some confirmation on the 15-minute time frame, right? I want to see that, okay, this is definitely going to sell off. Let's see. So we had a very nice bearish engulfing candle, but this candle was only at 9:45. So by the time this candle closed, it was only 10. Then we had a failure of a higher high, and we actually ended up making a higher low with a huge bearish engulfing candle, creating a lower low on the 15, and that's where I would have got in. So I would have got in right at 11, played it safe, been a little bit more patient, waited for the 50-minute time frame to tell me it's safe to enter. I would have got in right at 11 o'clock, and I would have sold at my daily level down here at 470.76. So that was a pretty good move. About $1.50. So a pretty significant move. I would have got in, like I said, at around 11 a.m. and I would have sold at 470.76 for the daily time frame. So that would have been my trade if I were to take that one. Again, that is risky because you're trading against the larger time frames. So with that being said, guys, I hope that helped out a little bit and gave you some insight on what I expect to happen for the rest of the year, as well as some kind of a recap for the day today. And also those three trades, I hope that gave you a good idea of where you could have entered, where you could have exited, and for future reference, when you see setups like that, where and when to take action. So anyways, I hope that helped out, and I'll make a video pretty soon, and you take care.